Hello and welcome to my Helluva Boss reviews. We'll be talking about any reference, Easter egg, connection to the rest of the show. Sometimes you'll see my Sona, which leads into episode 6 of season 2, Oops. Uploaded September 9th, 2023. And Fizzarolli takes a trip to the Greed Ring, finds Blitz, and both of them get captured by Stryker and Crimson and held for hostage. Shenanigans ensue. The episode begins in the Lust Ring, and Ozzy lives in a tower that resembles himself. Zooming into a normal penthouse, we see him sleeping. Ozzy has heart nipples and a lot of body hair. But it's time to wake up. Then Viz is there. Thirsty boy cup and a plant growing out of a tin cup. The succubus with a big butt that the fandom's crazy about is the Sona of a storyboard artist. Viz has multiple hoods, like his normal one, this kind of like sleeping cap, and then one that resembles RoboViz that we can actually see earlier. Viz stays with Ozzy, totally not romantic at all, for sure. Viz puts on his 3D glasses and reminds Ozzy about his schedule, like meeting with Stolas, and I just joked, but they are like an incredibly cute couple. That's really cute, realistic bantering with each other. In the background, it's kind of hard to see, but I think this is a photo of Ozzy with Queen Bee. Viz checks the news, there's some bad dragons, breast imp plans. Wally Wackford has inflatable tube mans from Family Guy. And people might know about Ozzy and Viz. Wait a minute, no time to do this crosswork, I get rid of the evidence. In the fridge, they have cream pie, fruity juice 100%, jumbo-sized cage-free cockburn. Viz is apparently going to a contest, and he thinks it's going to be fine going alone to the Greed Ring, but Ozzy doesn't like Maman.
You know I ain't afraid of ropes. Sides, I'm slippery.
I mean, only after I...
What?
Why is this the best written couple in the show? Viz says it's gonna be fine, but Ozzy's still hesitant. So Viz does the look, and it works. This cute succubus with the big butt that the fandom's crazy about is played by Viv, doing her best Harley Quinn.
What's the story behind these anal beads?
Some pervert strangled his wife with that shit.
Now that sounds spooky.
And that's because our anal beads are haunted as fuck. And for $50, you can try out any toy in our virtually private back room.
I don't feel safe.
She walks in on them, but crisis averted. Daddy Juice come. And Viv says he's gonna go incognito. So Jizz Lord pulls up in a stretch Hummer, rolling up with a pink carpet and suspicious confetti cannons, between a gang fight between a bunch of imps and a bunch of loan sharks with dinosaurs. Viz also brought a bunch of fly chihuahua things. This albino one is named Precious, and also doesn't have back legs, and we also saw them earlier. They knock over the stroller of the succubus MILF that strongly resembles the imp MILF from the pilot, but now made into a succubus with more pink skin and little wings. Viz riding down the street, walking his dogs with rollerblades is kind of like that one scene from Batman the Animated Series of Harley walking her hyenas. This one loan shark has a similar hoodie to Chaz, and we got some juggalos in hell. Then randomly, Viz runs into Blitz, who gets tossed out of a Starbucks by a hellhound. Why exactly he's in the Greed Ring and where exactly the rest of IMP is not explained. Apparently, since Ozzy's, they haven't seen each other in 15 years before. The show finally cheaped out and just used shadow people in the background, but it still be impressive because they actually went for the effort of designing individuals. Blitz calls Viz a welfare queen because Blitz actually made his own company with his 2 hands, and a small loan of an untamable magical book from Stolas. Viz is like, get on my level, my dick, horns have always been bigger than yours. And Blitz runs at him like the Proud Family meme, and they get into a tussle. You see some condoms and horse fly out. Honestly, could have been from either or of them. Then conveniently, the show remembers Crimson, and he's working in a building right next to what's going on for some reason. Stryker's trying to get a job. Cobra. Apparently in-universe, Western Energy happened last week. And to prove his worth, Stryker tosses his lasso out the window and captures the circus duo. Crimson then laughs like Chaos from Skylanders. Then we cut to Willy Wanker's factory, and Umpa Humpers are hard at work, creating the next big boyfriend replacer. I love all the little details and unique design Incubus and Succubus, but it really doesn't feel like the show needed this scene in this episode. I like the detail that they put bags over their horns and their wings because they do like have little skin flakes coming off of them with real animals, so it makes sense. Am I allowed to show it? It's on YouTube. I'm allowed to show this. Ozzy waits for Stolas in his beautifully lit room. Just this shot alone really just captures the emotion of what Stolas is trying to do, just with the lighting alone. Apparently, Ozzy has no hard feelings on Stolas. Stolas admits he might actually have feelings for Blitz, which Ozzy immediately thinks he's gonna ask for a love potion, but he doesn't fuck with that unconsensual bullshit. He likes lust as a form of crazy love, not forcing anything, man. It's art. It's called teamwork. It's fucking beautiful, dog. Which seems a little weird from the embodiment of lust, that he doesn't like forcing it, but I don't know. But Stolas says it's nothing about that. He just wants an osmosine crystal, so Blitz doesn't have to burden himself seeing Stolas anymore. Ozzy's like, well, I mean, I would, but like, my imp hates your imp, so like, I don't know, dude. But then he gets a call by Viz. One over-the-top voice message later, and it's Crimson. He's got Viz, and he's holding him for ransom. And Crimson knows that apparently Ozzy's the weakest and most non-threatening of the sins. So how powerful is Bellow of Sloth? If Crimson is just like an imp, how powerful is he really if he's just a simple imp crime boss? Despite being impressed by Blitz's company being made by an imp, I was lust at the bottom of the totem pole. Wouldn't something like envy be like even weaker? Because lust is just like a primal thing. I get he's not into non-consensual stuff, but like I think that's still pretty powerful if he likes lust and love and stuff. I know because of hindsight we won't see him until next episode, but why isn't Mammon also pissed off that his cash cow Fizzarolli is also being held captive? Wouldn't he also be up until Ozzy's ass trying to get him back? But the show is smart enough not to show that Blitz is also captured with Viz. Because if Stolas saw that, he definitely would have also went full demon with Ozzy and they would have just went down to lick Crimson's ass. So they lock up the two clowns in a cage suspended in the air with Stryker on top for some reason. Viz immediately starts freaking out because he's never been in a situation like this before. And the two clowns start comparing their royals. With Blitz saying that Viv is just down bad for Ozzy, and Blitz doesn't have that same feeling with Stolas, he clearly just only likes him because he likes the idea of a peasant raw dogging him. Nothing more, you know. No one likes Blitz. He's just like me for real. With Viv calling Blitz out on his classism, and Stolas clearly actually likes him. And Blitz is like, nah dog, you crazy. This goes back and forth for a while until Stryker shuts them up, calling both of them disgraces, especially Viz for being a purse imp. Which Viz says he's no better than any royal, which really angers Stryker. Which makes me want to think that the backstory that's going to be the twist is Stryker used to be like a purse imp for a royal until he got sick of it. But Crimson calls him off. Meanwhile, Ozzy and Stolas are trying to get through the paperwork to get the hostage situation over with. You know, like any contract, it's all a bunch of BS. But Stolas is enjoying himself. Then dramatic letterboxing, and Blitz has a knife on him. The whole time. So he cuts the two free, looks around for the device that lowers the cage, and he decides to Rube Goldberg this. By shaking the cage, Stryker is nowhere to be seen, luckily, and they knock over some boxes, crushing a guy, which sends his beer flying, knocking over the pyramid of cards, which causes the guy who made it to berserk and start shooting up the place, which hits one guy behind a forklift, which sends him driving into playing pool, which explodes and sends the pool ball flying onto a roof, and then it finally lands on the device. Unfortunately, Crimson comes back from the spa and sees all this, so the two have to run for it. And these guys are tough. They're not bothered by the plastic juggling club. Air horns don't bother them. And banana peels aren't actually slippery. Oh no! So a bunch of stumbling into success later, Fizzarolli thinks Blitz did this all to him, which gets him so mad he starts flashbacking back to their childhood, back into the circus time. And Fizzarolli was loved even by Blitz's dad more so than Blitz was loved. And Fizzarolli thinks that he was the one who caused the fire, which will eventually let him be exploded by fireworks, which burned down the circus and left Fizzarolli as RoboCop. And Blitz just left him. But Blitz says that's only part of the story, and he's sorry about it. From his point of view, Blitzo was upset that Fizzarolli was more popular than him, and you can see this little note implying that Blitz in the past wanted to date him. Blitz then knocked over someone that had a birthday cake for Viv, which caught fire and spooked the fire horses outside, which eventually led to the Great Fire. I think this is Barbie right here. And it's strongly implied that Blitz lost his mother in the fire. You can also tell from this photo she's wearing that skull necktie thing that Blitz does in modern times. We also see this is where Blitz gets these scars, which we can finally canonically say, yes, the white bits on imps are scars. So I guess that means like Moxie's freckles are actually just really weird specific scars. And Fizzarolli's white face is just a big white scar, and his nose is just like red naturally from being an imp. I guess that 15 years of hatred really were just one big accident. Oops. So the two help each other fight their way out. Fizzarolli has a little struggle to actually forgive Blitz for what he did, but he also notes it kinda did help him in the long term because he met Ozzy through it, and of course appropriately Ozzy has a really big dick. But no, they're surrounded, which leads into Fizzarolli singing the song Look at This, which is basically the I'm a Distraction song. Crypto and live action. SpongeBob reference. Then it shifts into metal, and it's awesome. It's a good song with good lyrics. So good, in fact, this is actually the first Helluva Boss song to be released separately after Oh Millie, with its own video. Fizzarolli can speak Italian, a little, and it's totally not just a big distraction so Blitz can find a way out. Then they find their way out and the building collapses, and they run for it. Jumpstarting in a junkyard car somehow, but oh no, Stryker survived. And he's gone crazy. A one-sex joke which sets Stryker off gives Blitz the opportunity to blow Fizzarolli up again. Stryker escapes, and oh no, Fizzarolli's arms and legs aren't working. So Blitz pulls some circus shit to save Viz. Yeah, they kinda made up. Viv returns to Ozzy and they hook up again. They definitely murdered this lawyer. Happy ending. We learn a lesson that the outside is terrible and you should stay indoors when needed. Ozzy doesn't care if his secret gets ousted anymore. And he can also apparently repair Fizzarolli's limbs. And Viv says Blitz can have the crystal. This is a pretty good episode. Well, yeah, there are a bunch of conveniences, like Stryker so happens to be working for Crimson in a new building, and Blitz so happened to be in the greed ring just as Fizzarolli was in there. Stryker was alright in this episode. I think his downfall in the insanity might happen a little too soon, but whatever. Stoles and Ozzy were fun in this episode as they continue the season's overall plot of gaining the crystal. The emotions and the cinematography and lighting are all amazing as always. It's interesting seeing more of Fizzarolli and Blitz's past, especially seeing more of why Blitz is the person he is today. Fizzarolli and Ozzy are just way better of a couple than they have any right to be. Overall, I'll give this episode an 8.5 out of 10. Make sure to hit the like button, share with your friends, comment your thoughts and opinions, and subscribe if you're new.